Originating from Dathomir, Mother Talzin was one of the 4 sensitive witches that made up the Nightsisters coven. She was one of the most influential leaders during the Clone Wars, and Talzin also played a crucial role in unifying the Nightsisters into a single clan. She has quite an extensive story arc that starts from her homeworld, where she had a humble beginning, but soon grew so massively that she caught the eye of the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Sidious. Today, we shall explore her rise to power and magical abilities, and tell you all about her contribution to the Nightsisters, among other things. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Now you are invisible to most, even Count Dooku.
Rise of Mother Talzin. From modest origins to Nightsister mastery. During the last few years of the Old Republic era, Talzin was a Dathomirian female who lived a quiet life looking after her sons, Savage Opress and Feral. Around 54 BBY, Talzin gave birth to another child, Maul, while also being a part of the coven of witches known as the Nightsisters. After being a part of this coven for a while, Talzin stepped up to lead them after the death of Zalem, and was soon recognized for her magical talents. Her peers and followers started looking up to her as a spiritual guide, and she successfully united all clans to create one singular coven, the Nightsisters. This coven was known for using their dark magics and spirit world connections to rule Dathomir and assert dominance over the Night Brothers. Around 50 BBY, Sinatine pirate Halstead forced Talzin to hand over a Nightsister infant to him in exchange for the safety of the Nightsisters. Talzin had no option but to oblige, and she reluctantly handed the infant, who grew up to be Asajj Ventress, over to him. As Talzin continued to rule over the Nightsisters, her magical abilities grew exponentially, and she soon caught the attention of Darth Sidious. Sidious hoped to attain galactic supremacy, and he visited Dathomir around 40 BBY to meet Talzin and gain insight into her Dathomiri magics. He wanted to combine her magical abilities with his pre-existing knowledge of the dark side of the Force. In exchange, Sidious promised to make Talzin his apprentice, but this was before he spotted Maul and realized he had greater potential. Sidious betrayed Talzin and stole Maul away from her, and an angered Talzin swore to teach him a lesson one day. Around 10 years before the Clone Wars started, Darth Maul was presumably killed at the hands of the Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi, but his connection to the Force saved his life. He survived the fight, but was crippled and abandoned on a garbage planet on the Outer Rim territories. While Darth Maul somehow rebuilt himself, Mother Talzin was enraged at Darth Sidious for abandoning her son, who also wished to return to his mother at this point. Around this time, Talzin learned of Dooku's existence and met him when the Jedi came to the Nightsisters' aid in desperate times. She learned he was associated with Darth Sidious and added him to her ever-growing list of enemies. While she plotted her revenge, she continued to grow in power and attained the rank of Clan Mother. The Nightsisters and the Night Brothers saw Talzin as their spiritual and political leader, who ushered the golden age of the Nightsisters under her leadership. Mother Talzin's sinister plot to claim Count Dooku's life. When the Clone Wars were in full force, Mother Talzin came across Asajj Ventress, who returned to her homeworld on Dathomir in an attempt to get Dooku off her back. She was severely wounded, and Talzin had to intervene to stop the other Nightsisters from killing her. She told them about Asajj Ventress's true origins, and the Nightsisters then helped Mother Talzin heal Asajj Ventress's injuries with a special spell. They further agreed to help her defeat Dooku, and 2 formidable Nightsisters named Naleth and Karis especially volunteered to help Asajj Ventress in her mission. Mother Talzin then used her magic to perform a spell that rendered the 3 Nightsisters invisible and handed a poisonous dart to Ventress. This dart weakened Dooku's senses, but he was able to outsmart the Nightsisters and make it escape. However, Mother Talzin consoled them and stated that they had proved that Dooku was vulnerable, and they only needed to devise a new plan to get rid of him. Talzin then contacted Dooku and offered to give him a new assassin to replace Ventress. Dooku was quite overjoyed by this offer, and he soon embarked on a journey to Dathomir to convince the Nightsisters to join his separatist movement. While Talzin refused to side with him, she did promise to hand him a male Zabrak Night Brother to replace Ventress. In the meantime, she sent Ventress to the Night Brother village and found the most powerful warrior among them. Ventress soon returned with Savage Opress, and Talzin soon cast a spell on him. After he fell unconscious, Talzin and the Nightsisters used their magic to enhance his abilities, enlarge his physiology, and increase the length of his cranial horns. Talzin also ensured that Savage Opress would always remain loyal to her, and tested his loyalty by asking him to murder his younger brother, Feral. After Savage Opress passed this test, Talzin gave him an enchanted blade and took him to Dooku, who was pleased to have a new assassin. Savage Opress's actions soon caught the eye of the Jedi, and Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi traveled to Dathomir to inquire about his whereabouts. He had murdered 2 Jedi a while ago, and Mother Talzin declared that she did not know anything about his whereabouts and that the Nightsisters were an isolated coven with no contact with the males on Dathomir. However, Obi-Wan saw right through her lie, and Talzin had no option but to use her crystal ball to find Savage's true location on Toydaria. While the Jedi departed to find him, Talzin met Asajj Ventress and told her that it was time to get rid of Dooku, with Savage's help. However, Ventress stated that Savage needed more training, and was proven right when a battle-weary Savage Opress returned after breaking his loyalty to Ventress and running away from her and the Jedi. Mother Talzin's plan to exact revenge on Dooku did not quite go as planned, and it ended with her looking after Savage Opress and helping him get back on his feet. General Grievous's ruthless assault on Mother Talzin's homeland. After Savage Opress returned on Dathomir, a betrayed Asajj Ventress soon followed and met with Mother Talzin. Talzin decided to make her an official Nightsister, but she refrained from telling Ventress that Savage had returned to her after breaking off Ventress's loyalty. When Talzin arranged for a celebration to mark Ventress's Nightsister status, Count Dooku sent General Grievous to attack Dathomir and destroy the Nightsisters. This deadly massacre is tragically known as the Battle of Dathomir, where Talzin did her best to use dark magic to destroy several battle droids. However, Talzin did not stay on the front lines for too long, and instead asked Daka to raise an army of the dead. In the meantime, Talzin was entirely focused on causing harm to Count Dooku, and she created a voodoo doll with the help of a lock of Dooku's hair. She then used her magic to torture this doll, to the extent where Dooku almost died in real life, but her ritual was interrupted when General Grievous made his way to the inner sanctum of the Nightsisters' village. Grievous attacked the village, while Talzin and Daka were performing their spells, and he murdered Daka, while Talzin swiftly escaped through teleportation. However, the army of the dead spell conjured by Daka broke after her death and left the Nightsisters in quite a vulnerable position. Without Talzin present, it was quite easy for the enemy forces to destroy the Nightsisters and put an end to their coven. After this tragic massacre, Talzin located Ventress and told her she must find a new path. Even though Ventress begged Talzin not to leave her alone, Talzin assured her that her destiny would always be tied with the Nightsisters before taking her leave, and later returned to the ruins of her village to try to revive her lost son, Darth Maul.
You will find him. He will teach you everything you need to learn.
Maul's return, Talzin's vanish. A twisted tale. When Talzin sent Savage Opress to find Maul, Savage found his long-lost brother living in an isolated cave on Lothar Minor. Talzin waited for Savage Opress and Maul to return to Dathomir and later took Maul to her village on Dathomir to give him proper medical treatment. She got rid of Maul's spider-like cybernetics and used her magic to give him a new set of cybernetic legs while restoring her son's sanity. However, she soon disappeared after restoring her son to his usual self and later appeared around 19.1 BBY. During this era, Talzin gained the allegiance of the Frangol cult located on Bardota, who were known for worshipping Talzin as their great mother. Talzin led them to abduct the Dagoyan masters and drain their living force into a containment sphere. She later worked with the Frangol cult to drain Queen Julia's living force and absorb it into her body to become more potent than the Sith and Jedi combined. However, her grand plans did not come to fruition, as Mace Windu and Representative Jar Jar Binks showed up at the scene to disrupt her ritual. Queen Julia was soon freed, and the conflict resulted in the destruction of the containment sphere. At this point, Talzin realized that her plan could not be salvaged, and she accepted defeat, and soon vanished away in a cloud of mist. The tragic end of Mother Talzin. When Mother Talzin had resurrected Maul, she had wished for Maul to form the Shadow Collective. While Maul followed these orders, Darth Sidious soon defeated him, and he made a narrow escape with some help from his Mandalorian followers. However, we soon learned that this was a part of Sidious's grand plan, who believed that Talzin only survived the Battle of Dathomir due to Maul's resurrection. While Maul was trying to escape from Sidious's clutches, he asked for Talzin's help, and she soon appeared from his chest in a cloud of green mist. When Maul described the situation to her, Talzin realized that Sidious only let Maul escape to lure Talzin in. She asked Maul to meet with the Black Sun's forces on Ord Mantell and help Maul defeat Count Dooku and Grievous. Maul later meets with Count Dooku to convince him to betray Sidious and join him instead, and Talzin once again appears from within Maul's chest and asks Dooku to forget their feud and come to their side. To convince Dooku, Talzin told him how Sidious promised to make her his right-hand apprentice, only to abandon her later. She even told Dooku that Maul was her son and gave him a chance to join her forces and help her defeat Darth Sidious. When several Jedi Masters, including Obi-Wan Kenobi, arrived at the scene, Dooku decided to join Maul, but Maul soon realized that Dooku was tricking them. He met with the Night Brothers and asked them to arrange for Dooku's body to be sacrificed for Talzin's resurrection. Maul embarked on a journey to Dathomir with Dooku, where they were greeted by Brother Viscus. The Night Brothers were working hard to prepare for Talzin's revival at the time, and they ushered Dooku to a chamber in a temple close to the village, where the ritual was supposed to take place. Darth Maul started the ritual by praying to a monolith and asking Talzin to manifest herself, and her essence soon appeared and possessed Dooku's body. As Talzin grew stronger, she fed on Dooku's life energy and slowly started killing him. While everything was moving smoothly, Darth Sidious and General Grievous followed Dooku's signal and arrived at the scene. Grievous launched a fight against Darth Maul, while Talzin used whatever strength she had gained so far to fight Darth Sidious. Sidious mocked Talzin by stating that she lacked combat skills despite possessing Count Dooku's body, and attacked her with Force lightning. However, this process only helped Talzin's reincarnation, and she emerged from Dooku's body and immediately attacked Sidious. The two had an intense fight wherein both parties used Force lightning to attack each other. But things went south when Dooku recovered from the possession and joined Darth Sidious. Talzin attempted to defend herself by conjuring a magical shield around her, while Maul angrily objected and hoped that Talzin would protect him too. However, Talzin knew that both of them would not be able to escape, and she implored him to continue fighting while she ended up collapsing to her knees. All the exertion from her reincarnation and duel with Sidious finally drained her, and General Grievous saw this as his opportunity to impale her with his lightsaber and kill her. Talzin's magical abilities soon faded from her body, and she died once and for all as her body turned to stone and her story arc came to an end. How powerful is Mother Talzin's dark magic? Needless to say, Mother Talzin was one of the most skilled wielders of dark magic in the entire galaxy, and she would typically lead the other Nightsisters during incantations. Her dark magic was so powerful, enough to transform Asajj Ventress and 2 other Nightsisters into ghostly versions of their true forms, in order to hide them from Count Dooku. She boasted of the rare ability to create objects from spirits, and she could appear in the form of ghostly visions whenever she wanted to be in more than one place. She often used her dark magic to torture her opponents, and she once tortured Count Dooku from a different planet by only using a lock of his hair. During a fight, Talzin could use her magic to create a green protective bubble that could block fire. She could also use Force lightning, and her lightning was green in color and powerful enough to destroy a B-1 battle droid with just one attack. She had the ability to perform telekinesis, and she could lift objects or even levitate herself with the help of this ability. As an extension of her telekinesis powers, Talzin could incinerate or create objects with magic, and she once set a huge pot containing Count Dooku's voodoo doll on fire by using this power. Talzin could conjure fearful illusions that would throw her opponents off their game, leaving them cowering in fear. Talzin also displayed the ability to teleport by transforming into smoke and vanishing into thin air, and later reappearing in wisps of green mist. However, this process sometimes cost Talzin her body, and her body appeared transparent and emitted a greenish mist. While Talzin was quite adept at performing dark magic, she seemed to lack the ability to perform a resurrection spell, and she had to rely on elder Nightsisters to perform these spells. Marvelous verdict. To sum it up, Mother Talzin was truly one of the most important political figures in the history of Star Wars, especially around the Clone Wars era. She impressively led the Nightsisters and took them to new heights while honing her magical abilities to the point where she caught Darth Sidious's eye. Even after losing her son, Talzin did not step down from her duties as the Coven leader, while also plotting her revenge on Sidious. She went down with a good fight and truly left quite a mark in the history of the Nightsisters, as well as the entire Star Wars universe. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!